Are ratings agencies, S&P and Moody's, going to downgrade South Africa to full junk status on Friday the 24th of November? With us in studio we have Tanika Ngwenya, economist at the Old Mutual Investment Group. Welcome, Tanika.
Thanks, Mashrika.
I struggle to even say that out loud. Is South Africa going to be downgraded to full junk status?
It's a tough one for us as well, mainly because of what it's taken for us to get to this place. So the rating agencies have given us time. We've been on negative watch for quite a while. So even the March downgrade was out of the fact that we had that cabinet reshuffle. And now we had this disappointing midterm budget where fiscal consolidation as a plan was dead. And so the rating agencies can't give us any more time in order to get our house in order. So are we getting downgraded? If you look at the budget alone, if you look at the fact that we're growing at 0.7% this year, as opposed to emerging markets, which are growing at an average of 5%, this is a good global environment.
Yes.
South Africa is lagging. So GDP per capita is actually quite low. We're one of the most unequal nations. So we need to grow in order to help the budget, in order to help with just employment, etc. in the economy.
Do you, however, think that the ratings agencies will take all of that into account, but also taking into account the ANC elective conference which is coming down? Would that be playing a role in the decision to downgrade or not downgrade on the 24th of November?
See, that's what makes this whole thing tricky, is that we're sitting at a place where the ANC elective conference outcome plays a critical role in terms of economic policy going forward. So if they had to downgrade us now, you have this great outcome in December, a good budget, policy saying that we're going to go put some right guys in state-owned entities to improve the governance there, and then
we've been downgraded in November, and
exactly.
It takes us another 7 to 10 years to get back to where we were.
That's true. So it's a very difficult place that the rating agencies find themselves in.
What can they do?
That's where the credit watch comes into place. So
credit watch. What is a credit watch?
So what the rating agencies can do is give us 90 days. They put us on credit watch, where they give us 90 days in order to get our house in order. So they put up a list of things that we need to do in order for us to prevent us losing our local currency rating to sub-investment grade. So they could say fiscal consolidation needs to come back, put these people in state-owned entities in order to improve the governance, specific things on the list, and we need to meet those in order to maintain our rating in terms of investment grade.
Tanika, simply, what does a ratings agency downgrade on Friday the 24th of November by S&P and Moody's, what does it mean to ordinary South Africans?
What it means potentially is that you have an outflow in terms of foreign investment. So Moody's and S&P, in order for us to be part of that City World Government Bond Index that we've all been talking about, we need to be in investment grade territory for our local currency rating. So once we lose that, we are going to see some passive outflows in terms of foreign investors who their mandates are to invest in these bonds that are in the index, right?
And also, not very many people are going to want to invest in junk.
Precisely.
People aren't going to be saying, you know, hey, let's invest in the country with the junk status.
But what we need to realize as well is that rating agencies are quite backward looking. So in terms of the fundamentals in South Africa, the market has been pricing us in sub-investment grade territory for the past 5 years. So in terms of growth, we've been in a downward trend. We haven't been helping ourselves in terms of putting the right policies in place to benefit from this global uplift in growth. So foreign investors aren't really overweight South Africa. They'd rather invest in a Brazil or Russia, where they're seeing that growth pick up there and some structural reforms happening in terms of current account corrections. So South Africa, unfortunately, is losing its investment appeal. Funny enough, we're actually looking at that World Economic Forum. So they put the Global Competitiveness Index, right? South Africa used to be #1 in terms of auditing standards and financing through equity markets, etc. Now we have gone down that ranking and we don't look so good anymore. So it just shows you how that investment perception has changed because we've eroded confidence in terms of this political uncertainty that we have in our economy.
Tanika, before you go, what are the market implications of this possible downgrade?
Well, on the downgrade, you will see some market reactions in terms of knee jerks. So bond selling, yields will go up. You'll see rand weakness because that's where a lot of the jitters will be. People trying to move money out, putting money perhaps in your rand hedges such as your NASPers, which has been doing phenomenally well because of this, it's seen as a rand hedge. So that will impact the currency. And going forward, then we have Thursday. We have the MPC meeting, and the Reserve Bank at this stage, they're not going to cut interest rates. And if you have a weaker rand, now they need to start thinking about whether they'll have to increase interest rates and if we're going to see inflation coming back on the table next year. So it's quite crucial that we've taken our cuts in terms of our forecasts. We know that in this environment there's no way the Reserve Bank are going to cut, and that means a lot more pressure for the consumer because we've seen high inflation, we've seen high interest rates, and we're not getting that relief in low interest rates now going forward.
Thank you so much, Tanika, and as I say, we hope for the best for the 24th of November.